Welcome back to Stooge Stream. I'm your host, the Stooge, and this is It Worth Playing? Today we're looking at Paragon on the PS4 and PC. I'll start by letting you know that I'm playing the PS4 version, so I don't know if there's any difference between the PS4 and PC version. I highly doubt it. And also, I don't normally play MOBAs. Have to admit that. Now, why don't I normally play MOBAs? Because generally, these games kind of bore me a little bit. They're more of a war of attrition than an action game. They're really light RPG mechanics, so they're not really an RPG, but it is at the same time. Let me explain. So, with games like, let's just take Paragon for instance, you've got a collectible card element, you use those cards to boost your character. So the more matches you play, the more packs of cards you unlock, you can create your own custom decks and use those abilities to boost your character throughout the battle, like having more health or health regen for a limited time, or a mana regen, or a hook where you can move across the field quicker. All sorts of little things that just change the way the game plays, which is pretty damn cool, I have to admit. So in Paragon, you have to, as I said, collect these cards, use that to alter the characters. In the meantime, as you're playing a MOBA, you always start at the base level with one ability. The more things you kill, you unlock more abilities. This is per map. So it's not like your character continues to unlock permanent abilities. This is per map. So you start off just with, so for instance, your basic shot, and then you'll unlock a trap, then you'll unlock a magic spell or something, and so on and so on. The grind really kind of bores me. It's just so slow, and having to do it over and over and over irritates me a little bit. The other thing that kind of annoys me about these games, as I mentioned earlier, is they're a war of attrition. So you've got all these points on the map. There's only 3 channels that you can run through. So even though in Paragon all the maps look spectacular graphically, this is a really nice looking game with a lot of detail, they all boil down to the same thing. You either go left, right, or straight. Doesn't matter what little intricacies there are, doesn't matter what little tiny bits in between, it all boils down to, are you going left, right, or straight? Or which way the enemy come in, and then you have to go down that line. That's all it is. So it doesn't matter how big these maps are and how beautiful they are, there's just really little to them because it all boils down to the same thing over and over and over. That's another thing that kind of frustrates me about these types of game, and this game in particular. Things that are really cool is that every character feels very different. Their abilities, the way they move, everything is really, really different. So I think that's really cool. The fact that they went to that much effort to make sure that each character not only was a different class and acted differently and so forth, but actually genuinely felt different. That is really cool. The problem being, though, the rounds take so long. So I just finished a game and it took 57 minutes. 57 minutes for one round. That's kind of ridiculous, because that means for 57 minutes I only got to use one character. So over that period of time, I didn't get to try other characters. I didn't get to try other abilities. I didn't get to swap in and out. I think that's something that Overwatch does really well. There is a punishment and reward still for swapping characters in Overwatch. You lose your ultimate bar. So if you're getting close to an ultimate, it's worth sticking with the character you're with to get that ability off, and then maybe die and switch characters. In this, you can't switch characters, so you're stuck with what you have. So let's say you are new to the game like I was and chose a character that didn't really suit me the first time around. I was stuck with that character for that 40-minute game, the first game that I had. Then I swapped to somebody else, and I was stuck with that character that I didn't like and didn't really mesh with for another 40 odd 45 minutes. And then the last round that I had most recently, I was stuck with a character for 57 minutes. Admittedly, I kind of liked this character, but didn't really suit my playstyle. I could have, or probably should have used more of a tanky character, but that's not the point. The point is I don't have the option to swap. That kind of sucks. It really limits what you get to see per round, per match. I don't like that. And again, the fact that the rounds take so long to execute and actually complete, be it if you win or you lose, it's just frustrating. Like, I like quicker games when they're action games, and this does kind of pretend to be an action game, so it should be a little bit quicker. If this was a turn-based RPG or a tactics RPG, then I could understand that, but it's not. Overall, I don't like it. Now, I know that's going to get hate from the MOBA community, but remember, this is just my personal opinion, and I don't think this particular game style suits the type of games that I normally play and what I enjoy. So, it's not the game itself, it's me personally. Now, as I said, visually it's really spectacular. The music's quite nice, the sound effects are really good, the menus are really complicated, the learning curve is quite steep. Generally, what I'm going to recommend is maybe go watch some gameplay of this, and if you like what you see, give it a go yourself. I can't recommend it, but I can't say it's a bad game either. This is a tricky one to place in the is it worth playing? Because I think it is worth playing, just not for me. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe, and there's always more coming.